All right, let's try this one more time. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, just sitting here drinking my morning coffee, looking sexy as hell as usual. I had to close the first one. Good morning. So, did you get the notification for the first one, David, or just the second one? Did we get a notice? I had to close the first one. It had a connection issue, so I just deleted it because it didn't have enough views. So hopefully, it didn't use up a slot. But David says, "Morning, coach. On my way to the gym, feeling a bit fatigued after my run yesterday, so don't want to go hard." I would go hard. I would go hard. I would just limit the. So if fatigue is up, keep the volume in check. Don't limit how hard you go because intensity is always your driver of muscle growth. It's always your driver of muscle growth. Right? Would be my advice. This would be Cochino's advice. I had some minor issues with all my stuff today. It's going to be one of those days. It's going to be a tech issue type of day. You got the first one, maybe I'll change my mind when you get to the weight room. Well, my advice would be to very much do that. But no, I mean, if you know your fatigue is high, David, that gives you a bit of useful advice here. If you know your fatigue is high, okay, you already know that. Don't change your mind. Plan a shorter workout, but go hard, really, really hard. Would be my advice, right? That would be my advice. You know, if we're going to ask coaches' advice. All right. So, I need to get that wish list pinned. So hopefully that is helpful to you, David. Guys, I need to get coffee. All right, Coach is refilling his coffee. I'll be back. Be back. 8 people in here and only 2 likes. 11. Well, there's only 1 like actually that I see. No, you got to give them time. Some of them are just drifters coming through. Sometimes they're band trolls. All right. Sometimes they're just people streaming through who are not regulars, so they don't know the rule about hitting the like stake, and they don't know. It's okay. It's all good, man. All right, it's all good. always like, I see stuff in fear mongering in my feed, and I put up a post. I'm curious to get people to say, probably didn't get enough traction, like no one's seeing it. All right. I don't think what people know what cloning actually means. So I made a status on that, and all these people talking about artificial meat and chemicals and everything from cloned meat. No, dude, it would just be a cow, man. It's not even cost effective. So they may be doing it in Canada, but it's going to raise the price of the meat. It's been FDA approved in the US for almost 20 years because they're like, we don't see any reason why it's harmful in any way, which, biologically makes sense. It's just not cost effective. It's too resource heavy. Like you're going to pay, it would cost more money to make the meat. That's the problem. Oh, Lord. What you going to do, though? All right. What are you going to do? You're right, Dave. It's a little slow in here still. It's a little bit slow in here. I guess those involved hope it will be cost effective at some point in the future. Well, it's not even those involved. It's just scientists doing their work and research, biology. Like, makes sense. Not all biology is even practical. Some scientists simply gathering data. But there's a lot of other downstream practical applications for cloning potentially. That makes sense, David. Right? Particularly medical side. So think about life-saving type stuff. That's one of the big appeals to cloning technology, organ transplants and things like bioidentical organs for you. So in other words, if you need an organ transplant or something's been damaged, the idea that they can clone your own organs with your identical DNA is kind of a big deal, right? Your body is far, far more likely to accept it. So if we're going to talk about really true life-saving technologies, the ability to clone organs and things, kind of a big deal. Good morning, Lars. Kind of a big deal. But the concerns with the meat thing, people are misunderstanding it because they don't know what cloning is, and they don't. Again, this is a case of biology fail. Like looking at basic biology or even nutrition, there's zero reason to think a cloned animal would produce any difference in the meat. Like it would be no different. In fact, it would be identical to the last 20 cows you ate if they're just cloning the same cow. In terms of the meat. But again, I think they're not understanding it's not artificial. Lab grown meat, it's not the same as a clone. Although I suppose lab grown meat might be cloned. I don't know. Probably have to be. But I would say the lab grown meat would still need some safety testing. Like that's one of those where we really would. My advice would be to heavily safety test lab grown meat before you eat it. But as far as something like cloned animals, the idea that the meat would be any difference is there's no logic behind it. Right? There's no pathway here. It's not like it's not a real cow. But I'm seeing some interesting arguments. I throw these questions out just to get a feeler for people. What are people thinking? What are their thoughts? What's their thought process? To me, it's fascinating and scary at the same time to watch the thought process of other people. And I agree, Lars. So one concern could be, right, that the actual process of cloning is not yet perfected. Lots of defects in clones, but it doesn't go 100% smoothly. In theory, yes, you're right. Right. Absolutely. But is there reasons to think it's going to affect the meat itself negatively? If the animal makes it to adulthood. So if it produces a viable animal that might have some defects, what are we actually concerned with going wrong? Like when we're concerned with biology, we need to be looking at rational concerns. What specifically are you worried about going wrong? Right. Right. And that's the point. But most animal clinics are not so good. It doesn't have any practical impacts. The beat will be identical, right? And we do mean literally identical. You're not going to get the variation you get from cow to cow if it's all cloned. You're going to get the same meat. I mean, not that there's any practical difference, between the same breed. I mean, there's differences breed to breed. That's why we have different breeds. Spoken like a Texan right there. But most of that has to do with meat yield and body composition and production side, right? And I think people, they get so caught up in these things that they don't understand what we already do. Then they don't understand how highly selectively bred our different cattle breeds are at this point. As someone who participated somewhat with it, and then my dad took over the ranch and the business, and we rotated to a completely specialized breed before he sold the ranch. Dad dropped $5,000 on a new breeding bull, who was only a year and a half old. Name was Malachi. He was kind of like a pet. So, again, people are they're not understanding. We already have these highly specialized breeds. So, but again, in terms of the cloning end, I think what people are not understanding, it's still probably not particularly viable. In other words, it's not cost effective, guys. So we're at a point like right now, you're going to pay more for your cloned steak. I'm saying there's not going to be any difference in quality, but it's going to cost more. So it's not commercially viable. I don't know why Canada's implementing it when the US hasn't. The US made it legal in 2008. Almost 20 years ago, we legalized it because they're like, yeah, there's no safety issues, but it's just too expensive. All right. But I agree. The worst for people claiming that organic foods are vastly superior to regular foods is just not true. Yeah. Organic's largely a marketing scam. And as far as pesticide content and things like that, it depends on the individual food. Right. It's absolutely going to depend on the individual crop and what pesticides we use. And I think they're misunderstanding this. It's a profound level of food ignorance. Isn't it, Lars? It's a profound level of food ignorance of people thinking that you can get pesticide-free food. So it's the argument is organic versus non-organic pesticides. So are you sure that poison, that organic poison, isn't worse? Some cases it is. Like this is what they're not factoring in. They somehow think they're not going to eat pesticides. Or, oh yeah, so it's like they learn real quick. I can tell you the people who learn this real quick. I knew someone, a friend of mine, she got some of her friends, and they were doing this hippie thing, and they decided they were going to start a small garden as a business, like on 1 acre of land is this organic, self-sufficient little hippie farm and make money on it. Boy, did they learn real quick. Bro, you're not growing enough food. Without pesticides, with only 1 acre of land, you can't even feed yourself. You're not going to grow enough food to feed your family on that. You got to be kidding me. It's delusional. Oh, my fruit got all eaten up. All the pests ate it, right? That's why we use pesticides. So there's just simply no way to do this on a large scale. Like people have no concept. Or people who say stupid stuff like they're against factory farming. I'm like, so you're a eugenicist. Like the same conspiracy theorists who want to get rid of factory farming talk about the elite wanting to kill 90% of the population, right? This is a big conspiracy. One of the biggest conspiracies in the conspiracy theorist world. You want to kill 90% of the population, so you're the one who wants to implement it though. What? I don't see the global elite wanting to implement it. I see you wanting to implement it. I see regular people calling for a 90% cull of the world population. Do you want to know how it's worded? In factory farming. There you go. Okay. Ending factory farming is a cull of 90% of the human race. You have to kill 90% of the population off to do this worldwide. We can't support 2 billion people with no factory farming. It cannot be done logistically. People said, we have like 8 billion. No, like I said that again. We can't support 2 billion. We can't do it. It cannot be done. You can't feed them. You're going to have to cap the human race down under 1 billion people to get rid of factory farming. It's that simple. So if you are against factory farming, you got to kill 90% of the population off. It's very straightforward. There's no real debate. There's no debate on this. This is simple logistics. All right, Lars says, David's, which by the way, I'm not against factory farming because I don't believe we need to kill 90% of the human race off. I think that we need to figure out how to feed people, and factory farming gets it done. Man, people don't like to hear this. Like, people are so stupid, though. It's like, how can you be so ignorant? They watch stupid sound bites on the internet, and whole movements get started, and people don't really understand or research, particularly food. So no wonder we have nutrition ignorance when people don't even understand the basic logistics of food or food science or where their food comes from. You know, it's really scary to watch just the mainstream population discuss these ideas because it's frightening how profoundly ignorant they are of it. And I mean truly profoundly ignorant. They literally know nothing about how their food is produced or the requirements to produce the food on the scales that we need. But Laura's giving David some stuff. Go kill that iron. You got this. I'll do a session later. Good stuff. It's like hear people poo-poo salmon made in farms, but they're actually much healthier compared to salmon caught in the sea due to the amount of heavy metals in the sea. Right? But Lars, don't you know they put pink dye in it to make it pink to scare you? Don't you know they wash it with chemicals? Don't you know? How dare you? You're trying to poison us, Lars. Vegans haven't helped, by the way. Vegans and PETA have really pushed their anti-factory farming stuff on a global level, and what they promote isn't even the norm. It's not actually how factory farms work in the U.S. So people that push factory farming as some negative thing, when in reality, factory farming is responsible for us having the population that we have. Like, billions and billions of people would not exist without factory farming who are alive today. So it's such a strange take. Does Bobby Kennedy even know why he banned the red number 40 food dyes? I guess in good faith, as well as does he know? That's a good question, Doctor. That's a great question. Does he even know? Probably not. Given his stance on beef tallow versus seed oils, it's clear he doesn't know basic nutrition or biology, unfortunately. It's very, very clear. And I make that statement in legit criticism because while I am right-leaning, while I did vote for this administration, I am not a sheep who just blindly follows, right? I don't look at everything they do and say, it's all good. Like, I've been insanely disappointed with RFK. As someone who voted for this administration, let me be clear, I voted for this administration. Right? I supported his same initiative, RFK's initiative, when he first hit. I have been, to say that I'm disappointed is an understatement. Have you ever eaten wild chicken? I've never seen a wild chicken. David, we don't have wild chickens here, dude. Max, what's going on, Max? Well, again, I come from a farming and ranching background, childhood. I understand different breeds. Now, I'm very familiar with chickens, by the way, David. I'm familiar with chicken breeds. I've never even seen, I don't know anyone who's ever seen a wild chicken, personally. I've never met someone who's seen a wild chicken. But I could talk to you for 30 minutes about the difference between a Buff Orpington and a Rhode Island Red. All right. You must think you're in the Wild West and you make sure you guys actually hunt wild chicken. Yeah, I don't think there's no wild chickens here, broski. There might be some Americanas that got out and have been breeding in the wild for a couple of generations. They wouldn't last long out here, though, man. Those coyotes and stuff would get them. Especially domestic breed trying to read. Yeah, it's going to be a problem. They wouldn't make it. All right. But yeah, they're obviously going to be a different breed. I mean, same thing with cattle. There's no wild cattle anywhere that any of us are going to find. The same thing, cattle breeds highly specialized. But the average person doesn't understand the nature of this, and they how do I put this? This is not new. Like, every one of you, this happened way before your birth. I'm only 48 years old for another 4 weeks. I'm 48 years old, right? All this stuff happened before my birth. This stuff was set into place already. Yeah. So, in other words, the average person doesn't know. The cattle are almost a different species. They'd be cross-fertile, but we don't crossbreed them. All right. The cows that you're eating are not the same types of cows you're getting your milk from. And I think the average person is so disconnected from their food that the cows that you are eating versus the milk you're drinking are almost a different species. This is how specialized all of our are. The same thing. But hopefully people realize this outside of the small farm level, the eggs that you are buying at the grocery store do not come from the same breeds of chickens that you are eating. A lot of smaller farms like hybrid type chickens that do both. They're completely separate industries, which doctor. Okay. And when you're picking your cattle breeds, um, like if you're wanting the best yield, you have to think in terms of temperature, climate, food. Like it matters. Our breeds are very, very specialized for it to maximize beef production. So, given Texas, um, and the beef yield that we produce and how much of it comes from the smaller ranches, man, picking what breeds you're going to breed based upon your local climate and temperament is can absolutely affect your bottom line on a very real way. So you have to look at things like disease resistant, you know, disease resistance, because I mean are a big deal, and that's a big part of when you have a smaller ranch. Then the anti-vax, I realized how dumb people were when I'm going to say this very politely. I had an ex who was anti-vax, believed herself to be scientifically literate, and we had talked about maybe getting back into doing a small ranch one day. We toured the possibility. And I was explaining to her this stuff, and she goes, "Well, I wouldn't want our cows to be vaccinated." And I'm like, "Just stop. No, like that's it. We lose our whole life savings. We lose our whole investment because of that stupidity. Like you don't vaccinate your cattle. It's like this level of stupidity and profound ignorance. Like you're taking an extremely high chance that you will lose your entire herd. Your whole life savings, your whole life investment gone because you're anti-vax. Like that is insane. Like you can't play like that. Yeah, plus no one's gonna buy your meat. All right. Yeah, selling your unvaccinated cows. Man. You know, but you're selling your meat at the local places anyways, like at the auctions. So there's a whole funnel for that for the meat packing industry, right? It's pretty much a meat funnel. So they're not necessarily the places that feedlots that feed out and then kill the cows are not the ones raising them. These are separate businesses. I explained it in very clear details, like, oh, okay, well, I don't like it. And I'm like, do you understand what happens if one of your cattle catches blackleg and you didn't vaccinate? You're going to watch your entire herd die a horrible, painful death in front of you. And let's say you have 300 cattle, and let's say they're worth approximately, $1,500 a piece, right? And you got 300 of them. The math on that. All right, that's $500,000 worth of cattle. You're going to stand there and watch them all die an excruciating, painful death in front of you. All of them. You're going to lose $500,000 and you're going to watch every last one of your cows die. quite painfully, by the way, because you were afraid of working your cattle. That's just insane. I had lamb chops tonight in a pumpkin. Right? So I have personally vaccinated hundreds of cattle. You know, pretty routine process. Right? Pretty routine process. You just got to herd them through the chute. Works best with 3 people. You got 3 guys, it's super fast once you work them through the chute. Joseph Parker. I don't know who Joseph Parker is. Yes, cocaine is generally banned in most sports. All right, cocaine is generally banned. Falls into that category. Second here, guys. I got to put some posts up. Oh. But again, as someone who grew up in that environment, a lot of this stuff that fringe people talk about, like also people who come through, like, well, I buy raw milk from a local farmer, and the local farmer is like, as someone whose family were local farmers who originally grew up in that environment, I can tell you right now, to most actual real farmers and ranchers, when you start in with stupid stuff like no vaccines for cattle or raw milk, they think that you're a moron, by the way. Just putting that out there. They're going to look at you like you have lost your mind. All right. It's definitely pretty routine. Pretty sure USDA requires you to have the cattle vaccine in order to sell their beef, or your export would be able to sell it. How crazy, right? What time is it over there? It's 5:47 in the morning. Yes, Jason Blaha versus natural hypertrophy. Well, we can't get him to pop back up. I can't get him to pop back up to knock him back down. Growing up in that environment make you consider over animal welfare giving? Yeah, I mean, you don't abuse your animals, dude. I mean, that's normal. Is this video? No, he's not going to come back. I think he's been deported. I mean, as someone who has partaken in the slaughter of quite a few chickens and pigs, like pretty cold to that part. It's just part of my early childhood. But I mean, generally speaking, why would you mistreat your animals? Like, why? What would be the point? Like, why are you going to hurt your animals? That costs you money. So I can tell you that would be the viewpoint. Why would you want to mistreat animals? They're going to be, again, Bad animal welfare literally takes food off your table and money out of your pocket. Local farmers take your money alive when they see us ask for raw milk. My grandma pasteurized her own milk. And she explained to me as a kid, we do this so that you don't get sick. She's over here with 20 grandchildren, and she's milking herself out there, cow, and then pasteurizing it. She had a big thing on her stove and everything that pressured. So she did it herself. Poor animal welfare. No, it doesn't increase profits. Again, where did you come up with this? Quite a strange statement. Said by someone who has never in their life lived on a ranch or a farm. I'm sure of this beyond a shadow of a doubt, Thurman. But I think you'll find that generally farmers are not there. So my dad's family were small scale ranchers. Keep in mind, we only had like 300 head of cattle. So it's only 300 cows. They had names and stuff like the long timers in the herd. So the family and grandma and aunts and uncles, because they named cows and they all had names they went by. Like ones that you had a long time, like your breeding cattle. I don't think people understand how long they live. All right. Your herd lives a really, really long time. They get names and stuff, like your breeding cattle. Your bulls end up getting names. You literally have names for them. Like our main breeding bull was named Malachi. He cost $5,000, by the way. Before he was fully grown, my dad paid $5,000 for him. He was named Malachi. I can assure you he was well cared for. Oh. Let me get more coffee. We're back in black, out of the sack. All right. I'm gonna learn whiskey in a jar. I started messing with it for about 5 minutes yesterday. Right. I got a bunch to learn with a little lead work. It's pretty straightforward. Like the rhythm stuff is so easy on it, right? It's like so stupidly easy. Right? I'm not even awake here yet. Can I find the right side of the pick? Here we go. Right. All right, we get on that other stuff. It's like we're strings on. Yep, I don't even know it. Can't even remember it all. I'm not awake yet. I just started looking at it, so it's like so it's like a slide in. I got to work on it a bunch. A lot of people don't realize it. Yeah, it's a really heavy riff. I am so not awake. Normally, you guys see me rip through some lead work, and that was really bad. It's like, Coach, what just happened there? Yeah, really. The riff is pretty heavy. Really is. It's like, all right. You need a lot of distortion to pull it off, though, especially the lead work. Like, but fortunately, I've got the right equipment for that. As soon as I crank that DS1 through the Marshall, we're good. I don't know any Blink on. I don't even know any Blink 182 songs. I got to be careful with songs I don't know like that, man. People will download that and remix it. Look how terrible Coach is at the guitar. Look how horrible he was with messing with that intro lead work. You know, he can't play. Till I bust out Shoot to Thrill all the way through or play Layla for you. Those are definitely songs I've had a few people say, do you play anything like guys? I have uploaded me playing like 5 minutes of the whole Shoot to Thrill before. I've uploaded me playing all of Highway to Hell all the way to the very end, including the little outro. All right. Already I've uploaded all that. Recorded with the amp, you know. But I know Shoot to Thrill all the way through the whole 5-minute song. You know. Including all the finger. I can't do the finger picking on the Strat. I have to do it on the Les Paul though. I can't with those strings that I have on the Strat. I can't hit it right. That whole finger picking interlude. So I can only do it on the Gibson. I have lighter strings on the Gibson, so it's my finger stamina runs out really fast. Trying to pick all three at the same time. No, sorry, bro, Skillet. Coach doesn't know. Don't know nothing about no Blink 182. I couldn't even name a single Blink 182 song. Sorry. I mean, I've heard of them, but I can't think of any of their songs at all. I don't know. If we go to the more catchier stuff, though, you guys remember? I did play it. I think I threw out some of it up here once. I did learn a couple years back. I sat down and learned Scotty Doesn't Know. Scotty doesn't know that Fiona and me. It's a pretty straightforward pentatonic lick, really. It's just rotating a single note with a because it's just repeating the same lick, but you're changing the first note each time through a pentatonic scale. It's really, you're right though. It's a good riff. It's like really catchy once you get it down and the timing on it. It's catchy as hell, right? It's a fun little riff to kind of play. It's Kirk, yeah, Nirvana stuff's super easy to learn. Yeah, Nirvana is crazy easy. Nirvana is easy first year stuff. How about the Offspring? Man, I haven't heard the Offspring in forever. Oh my god. Kids Aren't Alright was a classic when I was younger. I had some of their CDs back in the day, actually. The Offspring. What year was the Kids Aren't Alright? What year was that song? 1998. So I was like 20, 21 when that song came out. That song was a massive hit, by the way. For my generation or in my youth, that song was a massive hit. The Kids Aren't Alright. I want to learn more Iron Maiden too. I was messing a while back with some of. I know a bunch of what's it called? Played it before. I only really know one Maiden song. You need good chunks of it though. I want to work with more of it. The Trooper. Like I can play a pretty good chunk of that. I was messing with Can I Play with Madness? It's actually a lot harder than you think with only one guitar. I do want to learn more Maiden though. But I think looking at it now, I want to work with Whiskey in a Jar. I want to work on that one more. I want to learn the whole song. It's a fun song, you know. It's a fun song with fun lyrics, you know. Yeah, the rhythm end of it's really easy. It took me about 3 minutes to learn the rhythm stuff. Um, the lead work will take a little bit of work. But no, I mean, anyone who listens to the song, it's a fun song, guys. It's a good song. It's just got fun lyrics, and it's a cover, anyways. To have them fun songs. I think I'm gonna do a GPP day today. I was gonna take the full weekend off, but it's like, man, I'm just feeling I'm a little soft. I want to tighten my diet up a hair more. I feel like I need to trim down just a hair leaner. So I can't be taking GPP days off. So I really need to get some conditioning work in today. I'll get some watermelons today too. hard and potatoes are like if I want to control appetite, man, potatoes and watermelons. So I'll probably today cook about 6-7 pounds of baked potatoes, with some chicken, like bake them. Yeah, Offspring. It was definitely one of those bands you were cool if you listened to it right. Back in '98, yep, boomers aren't listening to them, so you're into some good bands. Yeah, the boomers don't like them. I love AC/DC and ZZ Top and stuff, though. But I did grow up in the '90s. I graduated high school in '98. So the '90s music is my generation. I mean, I grew up with a lot of classic rock, but like the boomers listened to a lot of classic rock. My dad was a classic rock guy all the way. Like my dad, so it's funny, ZZ Top's one of my favorite bands, and I didn't like them because my dad liked them when I was a kid, but I heard them all the time, and now I love ZZ Top as an adult. Like my parents went to ZZ Top concerts, you know. David says, well, after being in the weight room a good 45 minutes, I decided not to ease off, and I'm smashing it feels good. You get drunk. Yeah, unfortunately. I think we all did. No, whiskey in the jar's good. Limp Biscuit. Yeah, Limp Biscuit. I did it all for the nookie. My bros, that was like one of our anthems right there. I did it all for the nookie. Oh my God. I believe today they would call that a simp song. And I'm the laughing stock of the neighborhood. I did it all for the nookie. All right. Oh man. But I think we've all been there. Any dude who's going to tell you he hasn't done some stupid stuff over some really good pussy is lying to you. Right? They're straight lying. Unless they've been happily married since they were like 20. Really? I guess I don't fully understand what a simp is then. I don't get what they mean by the aggression in Nookie. Nookie's a great, and we've all done it, dude. Dude, we have all been there. The stupidity and stuff that we have put up with from the manipulative girl, who breaks off good poon on a daily basis. That's for a lot of us guys, especially higher testosterone guys. That's our Achilles heel right there, man. That is our kryptonite. It's absolutely our kryptonite. The girl who will bang you really good every day can almost pretty much get away with murder. Yeah, for sure. Everyone's got that one crazy girl we've been in place, definitely being, that one. Yeah, man, it's only been one for me, guys. Yeah, that's it. All my best bros would be crying, laughing. So the internet gives me hell for certain things. My bros in real life have a completely different thing. My bros in real life, we're out hanging out anywhere you see a really tatted up chick with tats and piercings everywhere. My bros would be like, Jason, don't go hit on her. You'll end up trying to put a ring on her finger, take her home, and let her ruin your life. Don't, Jason, look away. Dude, they're like that. They'll be laughing at me. Jason will be bringing her over to bro Christmases for the next year. Yeah. Thurman says, I got a girl like that in my life. At the present, she's no good for me, but God dang, the nookie is unreal. Oh, man. Thurman, bro, I feel your pain. I have been there. And it's hard, man. And that's the messed up part. Like when you know she's no good for you. That's the problem. Like we know. It's like we know this chick is toxic. You know. Red flags for days. You know. But we're dumb, man. We think with our dicks. Yeah, as men, we know it's no good. And we know she's toxic. We're like, dude, I gotta get rid of this chick. I gotta get rid of this one. You know, and every time you're thinking about it, she's running over, jumping on. When you're over here even thinking about, man, I gotta get rid of her, you're laying there. All of a sudden she runs over and just starts sucking you off. Out of nowhere. She like knows that it's going through your head. She senses it. It's like I better go sort this out real fast. Like she just like a spidey sense. They've got like the really toxic ones have like a sixth sense around that. They have a sixth sense, like they know when you're thinking of cutting them loose. God, get rid of this crazy one. Bought my carrying case for the X3. I'm not a big fan of that thing. I know what you're talking about, but it's better than nothing. You got some accountability in the office. You need to set up a squat rack in the office. That's what y'all need. Put a rack in there with a barbell and some plates. Ah, ha, ha, ha. That's what you need. Do some back squats. Right. How you gonna build quads at home with that, man? You need a squat rack. So you get some quads over you. All right. You got to get this while you're in the office. You get a squat rack. Yeah, I'm not a Smith machine fan. I mean, well, if you're gonna ask me choose between the X3 and a Smith machine, I suppose. I don't know. How else you gonna build proper legs at home, man? You got to have a squat rack, especially at home. Office. Got to have a rack or a sled. Most of my leg volume is sled work right now, honestly. I only do 3 sets of squats. Right. I did 1 set of squats yesterday. That's it. Do 405 on the bar, did 1 hard set of high bar squats, and then moved on to bench. But I do sled sprints in between. I'm probably gonna do some sled work today. I'll probably start the morning with some sled work. You got deadlift with a barbell. Deadlift with the barbell. Why did Smith machines become so prevalent over the years? Because people are afraid of barbells. They're really silly. JC, what's that? JC, you just missed the whole conversation about, we were talking music and then we talked about Limp Bizkit came up and we mentioned Nikki and we were joking about, you seem like the sort of dude to appreciate this. Toxic chicks, like for those of us high testosterone dudes, that toxic girl who will break off really good pussy every day is an Achilles. Is our Achilles heel, man. That's like our kryptonite. And I have been there. I have been there, brothers, more than once. How is the Muslim mayor settling into New York? I have no idea. Governor Abbott said he's going to put a tariff on New Yorkers who move here after that. He said that during the election because he doesn't want them coming here. He's like, fix your own city, don't come here. He said that. The governor of my state said that. It's like straight up. He said, I'm going to put a tariff. If this guy wins the election, I'm going to put a tariff on New Yorkers moving here. He goes, you need to fix your own city. Do not come here and ruin my state. Fix your own city. Planet Fitness was lame because they only had Smith machines and no barbells, but they were like $10 a month. Yeah, Planet Fitness wants their members to remain rotund. They served up junk food to everyone when I went there the other night. Yeah, they have pizza parties. Well, the thing is David, it's not even necessarily the religion. And look at he's basically a communist. He is a communist. That's the big issue. More than anything, all these other movements he's involved in. Because that's an interesting thing too. It's like what's interesting to me, and I think this will shock some people. Most of the Muslims I've met here are right leaning. Like if you actually have conversations with them, and I know it's going to be different in the UK, and it's because of certain aspects of their religion. So a lot of the Muslims that I've actually met here, like, because I have some clients who are actual clients, I do video calls with them. They refuse to support the left, and it's because of their position on the gay and trans stuff is a major problem. Like, so they're flat out, I can't support this. So they refuse to support the left purely due to the trans stuff and other things. They're like, I cannot support this. It's a violation of my beliefs. So I can't be part of it. You know. So you see conflicts even within there in terms of some of these things. You know, it's interesting. Yeah. But does that word even mean anything, Thurman? I mean, does that word even mean it? That's a meaningless term, dude. I mean, seriously, if you go look up the definitions, I'm like 99% of the population could be classified based on these definitions that are being put out. I had a really good buffalo prime rib last night. I heard buffalo is healthier. I like buffalo. I like bison. It's not necessarily healthier, no, does it? It's just different. It's different red meat. I like bison though. I used to eat it on camera, and then I've had. We used to have a buffalo burger place, little joint, when I first moved in town. My ex and I used to go there about once a week. just to try it out. It was just because it wasn't far away. There was a little place that served like buffalo burgers, a 5-minute drive away. And that was their specialty. Yeah, that was 115 pounds on the bar. He couldn't bench it. What about this bearded mayor, NYC mayor guy? He can't even bench one plate. He gets funded from the left and wins. Guy says unknown 6 months ago. It's an atrocity, right? Right. We should have strength standards for politicians. We should have strength standards. You know, it's not too late for your country. You guys need to man up, though. We need a little test. You guys need a little Second Amendment. Here's what would be fascinating. If you saw actual real far right stuff like that in the US, I wonder if Americans would supply it. They would arm you. Interesting. But I think because of the agreements, they're not going to. RFK would lead the way in the US, right? And so, Thurman, we were talking about that. Like, I've got major problems with RFK's implementation. So we were saying that in there. I am insanely disappointed with RFK. As someone who voted for this current administration, who, when RFK came up talking about Maha, I publicly supported the initiative. I'm a fitness person. He has completely dropped the ball. I am disappointed would be an understatement with the sheer stupidity he's pushed in place of, where does this make America healthy again? That's my problem. Like, really, beef tallow, you took unhealthy food and made it worse. Objectively, by every measurable scientific metric, replacing seed oils with beef tallow is objectively worse. Like, this is what you wasted it on, stupid stuff like this. How about we get the refined sugar out of the schools? Let's get the junk food out of the schools. Let's start there. Stupidity like beef tallow is effing retarded. You have to be borderline mentally retarded in terms of nutritional science to support that position. So that's what pisses me off. You know, seriously, dude, we should be getting sugar out of the schools. There's a start. Let's do that. The beef tallow, like, why have they decided that seed oils are this enemy with no evidence, by the way? This is completely fabricated. Not saying seed oils are great. They're nowhere near our number one problem, not even close. And if you had to take the lesser of two evils, they're definitely better than butter and beef tallow. This is not even up for debate. The evidence towards that is overwhelming. So, but I'm not telling you to eat them, but you don't replace them with something worse and then pretend you're healthy. Just stop. Do I smoke my own meats? No, I don't have a smoker right now. I just oven bake them. David said, I just pinned under the bench press strength standards. Be amazing. All right. Instead of a live debate, they have to have a live powerlifting meet. Lars says, my country's okay. Sweden has lost. They took in too many in a short time. Now the gangs and drugs. Yeah, Sweden's got some problems. Which doctor exactly? Someone else. We had this same conversation earlier. I don't think anyone imagined Bobby adding fringe concepts when we voted for his administration. That's exactly. Like, I'm thinking they're going to get rid of junk food, right? Okay, hey, so you tell me you're going to make America healthy again. We're going to get the kids eating healthier. My first thought is, hey, let's get all the sodas and candy out of the schools. There's a start. Let it sink in. 40 grams of sugar and corn syrup is the chocolate and milk we give to children, but Bobby mandates fast food chains and deep fry and tallow. It made things, yeah, objectively worse. All right. I think extreme far right organizations are the only political factions that take physical health and strength. Probably to some extent. You're probably right, Thurman, for the most part. Yeah. There are definitely problems with the lockdowns and stuff happening there, and I don't want to go into a lot of that desert in vast detail, but I mean there were obvious problems uh, with the entire vaccine situation, and I'm not an anti-vaxxer. That's the problem we have, though, is that the anti-vaxxers themselves jumped so far into that movement, and it's now spun as if you didn't get that vaccine or you opposed the situation as it was done that you're an anti-vaxxer. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I think vaccines are by and large a benefit to humanity. I didn't get that one. I made a personal choice to say, you know what, I'm gonna pass on this one. Um, it was an educated choice based on critical thinking, and I'm not anti-vaccine. You know, and then the annoying part is created this whole splinter movement. So when I discuss science, I get dudes now who online on Facebook and whatever, right? You ready? When I discuss science and scientific research, they'll say, well, you sound like you were vaxxed in 4 boosts. And I'm like, I didn't get the vax. I didn't get it. What are you talking about? Why are you spinning anyone pro science in that direction? You know, that's the problem, the damage that Fauci did is that people started then associating political propaganda and financial bias with the science. This is a problem because now we have the stupidity. Well, the science all says that beef tallow will kill you 20 times faster than seed oils, but you're trusting the science. I'm like, yeah, I trust evidence. Thurman, for me, it was a simple choice for the reason that I skipped on it because there was nothing mandating me. I wasn't forced to do it. I was someone who, for all purposes, had the ability to pick. Right? I'm self-employed, so on and so forth. I had the ability to pick. So I looked at it and I made a simple cost benefit analysis. Lack of safety testing. Like it's just an experimental drug. I'm just going to pass. They did not have sufficient, they bypassed the standard FDA protocol for safety testing to rush it through. I made a simple choice. Said, yeah, I'm not going to be the guinea pig. Next, I'm done. I didn't make a big deal about it. I didn't march in the streets about it. I simply made a rational choice and said, I don't see enough safety testing for me to take an experimental drug. I'm gonna pass. I'm good. Thank you. Um, you know, just made a personal choice and you're still alive and your better judgment was the right choice, right? All right. Exactly. And a lot of people were in that situation, and that's a problem. You know, that's a violation of medical freedom. Like I'm pro medical freedom, but I'm not anti-vax. Like I've been vaccinated for other stuff. You know, so let me be clear on that. Like I don't support the anti-vax movement, but I feel like this specific one, my gut instincts looking at everything, this was a whole money grab. Like I saw the whole thing start to finish as a transfer of power and a money grab by some big companies. And it was. And how much of our tax dollars in debt now went to, you know, fund all this? This all of us, this money, our tax dollars. So again, taxation is theft. It went into the hands of Pfizer and Johnson and Johnson. An enormous transfer of wealth. That's the only conspiracy I see with it. I don't believe in all these other conspiracies. No, this was purely a financially biased, politically orchestrated money grab. That's what it was. That's what it, and that's how I see it. That's what I've realized it looked like at the time to me. That was what my gut instinct was. Like this is a money grab. This whole thing is about money. This is about these companies making trillions of dollars. And I don't think it goes beyond that. I don't think all these other conspiracies that people have. No, it was purely about money. This was money, right? And then they found out it doesn't even spread it. So looking back, it was a huge money grab, capitalizing on the pandemic, right? And that's what it was. It was a money grab, start to finish. The problem is now it's created in certain movements a fear of science, and this is a problem. This is a negative side effect of all of this, right? This has created a negative side effect afterwards at the societal level. Now, ass clowns associate this with being pro science. Whereas in a lot of people, I knew doctors and PhDs and other people who, posted up stuff too, like, no, this is not science. Now, I think that's stupid, Thurman. Ivermectin. Really, you're going to take a horse dewormer? No, that's not good science either. That's another fringe. People went into silly fringe stuff about it. No, your best defense against all this stuff is a strong immune system. Here's the other problem too. We as a fitness community missed a golden opportunity here. We missed a golden opportunity. Did we not? We had a disease that ravaged the obese. Who is at the highest risk of problems from this pandemic? Those with poor cardiovascular health, people who were overweight. This could have been a wake up call to say we got to do something about our obesity and our fitness problem. The ball was dropped. Instead, we made it about all these other things instead of saying, hey guys, obesity and all the obesity related diseases make this pandemic way more deadly. Way, way, way more deadly. We got to get in shape. We got to chill with the junk food. We got to kill with poisoning our bodies. That should have been the call. Why didn't this happen? That's what should have happened. You know? I need coffee. I'll be right back. We also need to restart the super chat go. Let's check our thickness this morning. I turned 49 in a month, by the way. Got the dad vibe going. I always tell guys, man, we may have gray in our beards, but we're still thick as hell. All right. Oh man, yeah. I'm exactly a month from my birthday. I'm 1 month from turning 49. So, a lot of people don't seem to particularly care about their health, I think. I watch people on a daily eating junk, not exercising. It's almost like people believe getting cancer is just life, right? And it's not. It's not. I mean, I made a post on that yesterday explaining that muscle mass is protective against cancer and diabetes, and people literally argue. Like, this isn't even debated. Muscle tissue is protective against cancer. Body fat increases cancer risk. This is pretty well understood. Like, this is not meatheads talking. This is the science. This is well supported in the medical literature with causation understood. Anything you do that increases insulin resistance is going to increase cancer risk across the board. And no, that doesn't mean eating carbohydrates. Eating carbohydrates doesn't make you insulin resistant. Not all carbs. Some carbs can contribute. Glucose-based carbohydrates do not contribute to insulin resistance. Refined fructose can. Right? Whole food sources generally do not. In other words, eating watermelons and blueberries is not going to contribute to cancer. Your soda will, though. Drinking that Coca-Cola will. Right. I mean, if you eat baked whole foods, you'll probably be okay health-wise. Bobby Kennedy should be promoting the basics. I hope he's not talking about food sources at his mom. Right. Right. And they're worried about the wrong stuff. Like, factory farming is not the problem. Like, your pesticides are not anywhere near your biggest concern. That's so far down the list of concerns. And I think the problem is that we're like, well, we need them. So, that's where people get stupid. They're like, well, we need the FDA to investigate the various safeties of different pesticides and enforce rules on it. And I'm like, they already do this. This is the other reason why Lars brought this up. This is one of the reasons organic is not necessarily healthier. Organic limits you to different pesticides that in some cases are worse than the non-organic ones. Do you think RFK? I mean, he probably used just a little test and growth. Why wouldn't he? Look at his age and how in shape he is. He's definitely going to be on TRT, probably a little bit of growth. I mean, that's reasonable, right? I mean, he's obviously in shape. I'm pissed about some of these policies. I mean, him personally is in pretty good shape, Definitely for his age, he's well past the top 1%. Well past the top 1% in terms of being in shape. But I guarantee you he's on some tests. He's going to be on TRT, guaranteed. Minimum. All right. So again, look at how he looks at age 70. Like, come on, dude. He's on TRT. That'd be my guess. A little test, a little growth. People get stupid worrying about pesticides. You had a video that years ago when pesticides were outlawed, how silly we focus on things that have been handled, right? Yeah. And I think that's a point that has to be made in all this, though. Good morning, looking shredded. Appreciate it, Malcolm. Yeah, I mean, so you have that thing. So if all pesticides were just outlawed, just like we talked about the factory farming, well, don't claim that you're not for global depopulation. You know, that's the ironic thing. All the same conspiracy theorists who scream that the global elite want to kill 90% of the population want to implement policies that will kill 90% of the population. Like, you're the ones who want it, not them. If you're calling for pesticides to be banned or in factory farming, you're calling for genocide of 90% of the human race. That is literally what will happen. You know, those are the policies that will cause it. So, and there's no debate on that. Like, this is there's no debating this. This is pretty well established and understood. This is basic food science. But again, people are ignorant of food science. They don't know anything about where their food comes from, including conspiracy theorists, including fitness people. They're completely clueless. My still working arms. Do you not watch my vlogs, Malcolm? I'm limiting because I feel like all the arm volume did not help me at all. So now I'm just going to focus on intensity. I did one set of curls to failure yesterday, one hard set after my weighted chins. And that's it. He thinks it's more important than just simply educational whole foods food choice, and he doesn't promote basic nutrition. That's the problem. Yeah, people over here worrying about pesticides while sipping beer. Objectively more toxic. Yeah. I mean, so again, if we're going to talk about toxicity in the body, no, I'm not following Minzer. No, Minzer's programming was crazy. But is this? I'm following more moderate volumes and more intensity. Yeah. So I mean, yesterday, so I do full body, right? Squat, bench, deadlift, and all that yesterday. But if you think of arm stuff, I did 2 sets of weighted chins to failure, and then I did 1 set of barbell curls to failure. That's 3 sets for biceps. Now, granted, I did chins on the other 2 workouts too. You know, so that's the thing. I'm doing about 6 to 10 sets of muscle group, and we don't need more than that. You know, so that was yesterday. 2 sets of weighted chin ups to failure, got 7 reps on each, and then I failed rep 6 on the heavy curls. Like, I failed the rep. I could not get it up. It like failed right here and just done. You know? Same with my benching. I'm just going to let pressing. I'll do some press downs every now and then for blood flow. But I mean, the benching. I mean, my last set of bench was 225 for 18 pause reps after doing heavy benching. That should be enough for my triceps. My triceps were on fire. No. I did do extremely, because 1 set's not enough, Malcolm. Like, it's not. Menzer's stuff is garbage. Malcolm, you need to be clear. Like, the volumes and things he promoted later in life, no one ever did successfully, including him. So why would you try it? It doesn't work. Dorian's volumes weren't that low. Menzer's volumes were not that low when he placed second at the Olympia. He did 3 to 4 times as much volume as he later advocated. He was one of the greatest bodybuilders in the world doing it. Dorian did 3 or 4 times the volume that he advocated and won the Mr. Olympia numerous times. All the evidence shows it doesn't work even in the lab. So you guys need to leave Minzer out. Just stop. Minzer did 6 to 10 sets per muscle group when he was winning bodybuilding shows per week. You have to be clear, the volumes are literally impossible. The volumes will burn you out in a week. Right. I live in Belgium, beer capital of the world. You can get your first one at 16. Nobody seems to even know how bad alcohol is. The mind is boggling, right? A drinking culture is heavily ingrained, and it is a problem. Right? Absolutely a problem. You're still actually on life in 2 sets. Hey, Malcolm, why are you making up nonsense and lies? Why are you in my stream making up lies? I probably know 10 times more about Minzer than you do. Why are you lying in my live stream? I need you to give me an answer. Why are you lying in my live stream? Minzer didn't work out in his later years. He was very vocal about that. He stopped lifting weights completely. David, I think that's a good question. I think we eventually need to implement a rule to where asking about Mike Minzer's an automatic ban. Because I get tired of answering it. Malcolm, do you know every single day, probably 20 minutes of my day, every day, 7 days a week is spent discussing Minzer in the live streams? Like, do you make 30 new accounts every day? I'm kind of curious. Is it you the same guy doing this all day? Minzer is a dead topic in 2025. He shouldn't even be a topic. No, he didn't do any of that. Are you not familiar with Minzer's history? Like, go do reading. Stop watching TikTok videos and go research Minzer. I grew up in the era where Minzer's stuff was still being heavily discussed, and his history was very well known. This whole generation who's obsessed with him doesn't seem to actually know anything about him. It's really weird. What do you mean his TikToks? He died before the internet existed. All right. Guys are seeing 30-second TikToks on Minzer. They don't know anything about Minzer's history. They don't know anything about his psychological state. They don't know anything about his meth addiction. They don't know any of this stuff. It's really strange. It's like they're worshiping a parody of Mike Minzer with no idea who Mike Minzer actually was, or the history of his ideology, of how it shifted over the decades. They're completely clueless. It's scary. These dudes really think Minzer did 1 set a week. Hey, Malcolm, he said he had an amazing physique. Why does it matter? Because you're not promoting what Minzer did. Malcolm, because the things that you wrote are not what Minzer actually did to build his physique. So if you believe in Minzer's physique, why don't you go do Mike Minzer's routines that he did when he actually worked out and was a bodybuilder? Why don't you go look at the routines that he did when he was a IFBB pro bodybuilder and competing in the Olympia? Why don't you go look at those routines instead of this other crazy stuff with 1 set? Okay. So that you understand Mike Minzer's training, the entire time he was giving lectures and seminars about 1 set to failure, he didn't lift weights. He rode a stationary bike as his only form of exercise. He had stopped lifting weights completely years ago. He did no lifting at all. He was a cardio guy. That's it. While giving lectures on lifting weights and writing articles on it. Would this stream be fun if there wasn't at least? No, there's still time for kapows, guys. There's still time for kapows. We don't got to ban him for this, but you guys got to stop watching TikTok. You need to go research. Actually do real research. Stop watching sound clips. The later stuff that Mike wrote about is not how he trained. He did about 8 sets a week. Really hard sets, though, basically to temporary failure. He pushed progressive overload, And if you even pretend that he only did lat pull downs, stop. Mike Minzer was big on the barbell curl. Mike Minzer pushed the barbell curl with a straight bar like crazy when he was a serious bodybuilder. Right? You do know that, right? Not like there aren't 5 million pictures of him doing heavy barbell curls. There we go. Now Malcolm's in here as a hater. So claims he doesn't know anything about me, new to the channel, and then he's going to start in with this and act like he doesn't know my training. Yep. So new account, he's a week old. All right. And he's over here trying to trash talk me. You have small arms. Exactly. In whose delusional world do I have small arms other than bodybuilders? And I am aware I'm not proportionate because I do too many curls. Probably does not help. So David's called for a kapow vote. Anybody else? There he goes. Kapow the full. There we go. All right, Malcolm. I already knew you were going to go to insults. All right. And yeah, he's a regular hater. All right. You have been judged by a jury of your peers and you have been found guilty of treason. I sentence you to death. Kapow! And you out of here. He's disrespecting Mentor. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we could disrespect Mentor on in his later years. But to be fair, he was a great bodybuilder when he was bodybuilding, all things considered. Right? He had a solid training philosophy in the 80s. Yeah, you called that one early. You already knew it was going there. No, he was a regular hater. Like I've realized, I picked up pretty quick right there near the end. Yeah. But he used the Minzer thing as a screen. It was a little facade. Hold on, I gotta make some posts. Give me a second. Hold on, I gotta adjust that to make it fit. And I'll get back to you guys, y'all. All right, back to the string. Yeah, you called that one early. Yeah, absolutely. 3 days into the diet, 10 pounds lost and strength retained. Good stuff, Connor. Good stuff. But yeah, I feel like I have to absolutely limit the bicep volume, and I need to focus on just a handful of really hard sets. You know, but yeah, just the large amounts of volume. I feel like it just simply didn't work. So just kind of push weighted chins as hard as possible, an occasional set of a single set of really heavy barbell curls. Heavy for me. Like if I can't get 6 reps, it's heavy. Like if I'm failing on rep 6 or 7, I think that's heavy. Doesn't matter. It's not heavy to you. All right. I'm always amazed with these dudes with really short arms of how much weight they can curl. It's just shocking. I always wanted to like Mentor stuff because he was really likable and philosophical person like Arnold, but can't be denied that his later stuff was kooky. Really says, haven't seen you in a while, Jason. Why not, really? Man, I make videos every day. There hasn't been a single day without a Blaha video in 13 years. I do 4 sets, 3 days a week for biceps shoulders job. That's still a lot, man. That's 12 sets. That's a lot. But I think people need to understand how little volume I did. Even in that one side shot, granted, my body fat was higher. Let me see if I can find it anywhere. It gets buried. Look for it. See if I can get one that's easy to find. I just did so little arm volume, man. And people are like, your arms look bigger, even though I was at a higher body fat. And I'm like, really? I didn't do my arm volume was so low. My only curls were some hammer curls. I'm like, are we really having this? Really, guys? Damn, you know. It's too hard to find. I put too many pictures up. Wow, dude, I put a lot of pictures up, but I get paid for them. But the one with the green screen in the background when I was standing up, it's just like I didn't do arm work. And I only trained 3 days a week. Right. Hey, Willie, you clearly don't know anything about my channel. What? Willie, I think you have me confused with someone else. Hey, Desert, we're just going to pretend you didn't read that. Genova doesn't have a vendetta against me. Genova doesn't have the mental faculties to have a vendetta against anyone. I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes, Desert, and please never bring it up again. Jason Genova is a person who is legitimately mentally handicapped, like mentally retarded, in the legal sense. I'm not saying that as a making fun of. He would be classified legally as mentally retarded. He has a guardian. He's not allowed to have his own bank account. Okay. Who got famous in YouTube fitness circles for weird trolling and weird antics on camera. And then his family eventually took him off the internet. His guardians took him off because of the problems around it. Who had crazy, weird stuff he said about tons of people. I had to block him on the phone years ago because he kept calling me at 2 a.m. asking me for money. Desert, did you just miss what I said? He is legally, by a judge, ruled to be mentally incompetent. He is mentally retarded. He's not unhinged. He's disabled. Just stop. So can we move on? We don't need to make fun of a mentally handicapped person. He's like, and I'm not saying that as an insult. I'm saying he is legally mentally handicapped. He has no rights of his own. He has a guardian appointed. Yeah. Okay. So Genova has a guardian. As a 30-something-year-old man, he has a guardian and he doesn't have his own bank accounts. Do you understand this? And I'm not saying that as a joke. Okay, Willie, you're out of here. Kapow! Get out of here, Willie. We don't need this craziness. Next. That's an auto ban. Just done with that. All right. There we go. Yeah, you guys called it already. So, and I would prefer if we don't keep discussing Genova. It's really inappropriate, guys. And anyone who's a fan obsessed with him should probably be talking to a therapist. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm not saying that for trolling. I'm saying the people who are obsessed with him are very mentally ill themselves. Right. So, yeah. So again, Genova is legally considered to be mentally handicapped in a legal sense, not as an insult. I bet he is classified as mentally handicapped, and he's been adjudicated mentally defective, which means he has to have a guardian. Right. And that's why he's not on the internet anymore. His guardians and family pulled him off the internet, said, no, we can't have this anymore. So, right. It's just strange to me. So, Desert, here's what I'm going to ask you. Why do you think Genova has a vendetta against me? What are you watching? Like, what sort of weird videos are you watching? Would be my question. Where are you finding this? I like the initial videos where Andrew filmed him. I didn't see any of that. What's going on at the gym? That's good banter in the gym and gave some. Oh, I did see a little bit of that's right. Because Genova made it too weird. Andrew's cool. The rest not. Right. Yeah, playing that back is a weird. That's a weird one. Like what? I gotta wonder what weird troll videos you were watching. If you think anyone like, where did you even come up with that? What are you watching, Desert? Someone has a clip somewhere they've uploaded of Genova doing one of his mini Order 66s on the 57 million people he did them on. Camera up his nostrils. Order 66, Jason Blowhole. I look at me. I'm the sickening, pissening Sith Lord. Like, is there a clip of that? El Spaniard. Sickening, pissening. Order 66, Jason Blowhole. Because he's handicapped. And I tried to be polite with him, but I had to eventually block him because, on my phone. Order 66 from Star Wars. Oh, because he believed that he was Anakin Skywalker. Yeah, so Order 66 from Star Wars. So he was in love with Padme from the Star Wars movies. And then, right, as Connor said, his sick fans, his mentally disturbed fans enabled him and pushed him off. No, the Order 66 is when Emperor Palpatine destroyed the Jedi. Okay, Desert. Do I even want to put this up for a vote, or is this like an auto ban? All right. However, we're going to allow democracy. Normally, I would just ban you immediately, but I'm going to put it up for a vote. Really, dude? Really? All right. So we're up for a vote. Could power stay? I've gone through a process to try to get that page removed. It's just too much work. The person, it's a dead site. Like, it's not been updated. It's completely dead. And I don't want to buy it to delete it. And I've tried some legal stuff to get rid of it. Normally, I would have banned him already, but since the paying members are given a stay, I'm going to let him stay for a bit. But yeah. So no one owns that website. It's like been bought out. It's not being operated, and some other entity owns it. I've tried to get it removed, and eventually I'm going to have to. It's just like a tick that just sits there. See, that's what I mean. Now you're advertising. I'm going to have to remove your thing, though. This has to go because you're literally advertising for the dead web page. So that your post has to go either way, because now we got this guy. You draw, in short, an insanely crazy hate page made about me with just lots of references and just sheer insanity. Of just completely ludicrous stuff. And it's like 10 years old. It hasn't been updated in like 8 or 9 or 10 years. It's a dead website. But it falls under, it would be legitimate slander. It would fall under malicious slander, like suable in court level slander, because it's been published and recirculated. And the original owner doesn't even use it or update it anymore. It's just floats there. And some company has bought it out as a subsidiary when they were buying things. But it's expensive. Like, that's the crazy part. Yeah. No, I don't have a lot of people. I have a tiny number of very active people, you draw. Because in order it's peppermint international level to get a slander website removed with difficult to pin down ownership floating around is not something that's in my budget. Like, I don't make that type of money. I mean, I only have $2,000 guitars. I'm not balling at that level, dude. I'm not freaking in millions and millions of dollars. All right. I'm not even gonna bother with this one. Just out of here. Next. All right. Done. Yeah. So I don't think people understand how difficult it can be to get rid of certain things. Not difficult, but rather expensive. Does that make sense, Peppermint? Like, I don't have an extra million laying around for reputation control. Like, so that stuff could all be dealt with, but it's expensive. And there are companies that do that, and I've talked with companies about it. But we're talking about a pretty big chunk of money. So realistically, at this point, I could pretty much, if I had the funds, I could go after all this stuff. Honestly, it's all prosecutable. It's all suable by the right agencies that cover it. I mean, they would go run down all these different haters. They would find them all. It's expensive, right? We're not just talking a few $1,000s. We're talking hundreds of thousands. I would need like $500,000 to get it started. But I mean, yeah, I could actually get all of the YouTube stuff, all the hate stuff, all removed, and actually get lawsuits going and everything. people who would handle it kind of at the international level. There are firms that do this. It's just prohibitively expensive. Like it's all counts as slander, like all of it. It could all be gotten rid of. It's a lot of work. So you got to hire people to do it. And I don't have that type of money. Now, if my Facebook or my other stuff blew up to its highest level, I would. I was on route with the whole meme stuff to be making that type of money actually, until that kind of went under. When you start having $20,000 months, but it's neither here nor there. So I went to trolling, nothing, just silly stuff got brought up with trolling and hate pages. Well, let's get over to real topics though. Let me check something. I will eventually have to get out of here. I need to make another Facebook fitness post. I need a topic. I need something workable. It's a little slow this morning. And I'm going to do a GPP and that'll kick it back up, but I need some other hot stuff in the feed. I feel like I hit a couple hot topics that didn't take off in the last day. Some of my other stuff really blew up a few days ago there. We need more of that. I don't know. I still had a strong day there yesterday. It wasn't horrible. I had a good workout, Desert. Yep. Going to start my workout. Take care, Desert. My boss says, I wanted to ask a weird question to the group. Uh-oh, here we go. Lars says, okay, question for a full body workout that incorporated 3x5 deadlifts. Do I start with that exercise? Is it better to wait till later? What's optimal? Lars, I'm going to lean in the direction of starting with it. How strong are we after? Oh, you're also in your early 50s, aren't you? If you're really going to do 3 sets of deadlifts like that with that sort of workload, I would probably start with a deadlift. Right? Yeah, you're very weak. Okay, fair. I mean, I have clients who do either squat or deadlift. We rotate them. I have some of my full body guys who train that way. How did it not delete all his stuff? There we go. That one didn't remove. Yeah, he's out of here. I need to get coffee though. back in black out of the sack. Yeah, we got to get rid of that level of trolling. I mean, they're reaching levels of autism that shouldn't even be possible. I don't know, man. There we go. Getting a good little status here. Nice meme coach like that one. It might be a 2015, right? The first place I saw it, I was making fun of the Marines. It was Marines making fun of themselves. But it's true. It is true. So there was a meme page that one of my bros who had been in the Marines, he sent to me, and I started following the page years ago. It was called Untied Status Marin Crops. Right. So the United States Marine Corps, it was Untied Status Marin Crops. And I saw a thing come through there, and it was like the little Dolan duck, like in a Marine helmet. It's like, we're studying our newest, recruit of Marin Crops recruits, and we're measuring. It was something like we're measuring levels of autism that shouldn't even be possible. I think that's the first time I saw it was on that page. We're reaching levels of autism that shouldn't even be possible. Like, oh my God. But my God, did they troll themselves? They trolled themselves so hard. All these Marines in there is hilarious. Untied Status Marin Crops. Kev Shep Peppermint, the guy just banned. I'm not a troll. And it's like geez. This is one guy, by the way. He messages me on Facebook with new accounts too and other stuff. He contacts me through multiple mediums. So this is the same guy making new accounts. So it's not just the live streams. He contacts me everywhere, trying to pretend to be concerned about me. And then when I block him, he makes a new one. He gets all angry and like spams really hateful, crazy stuff at me. He's worried for my safety. Tries to tell me all the stuff stalkers are doing involving my neighborhood. Yeah, you've seen. I'm used to it. So this guy contacts me every day, by the way, on multiple mediums. Yeah, it's called a concern troll. Like he does this every day, every single day. It's like, so it's not just here. He goes to other stuff. I'm sure he'll be hitting me on Facebook in about 30 seconds. Yeah. Again, reaching levels of autism that should not even be possible. All right. Let's get over to real topics, man. We were talking about some whiskey, and I'm going to learn whiskey in a jar, guys. We're going to learn it. The lead work is going to take some stuff, but at least the rhythm is really easy, you know. I'm going to have to work on the lead stuff. It's a nice little catchy riff, though. But, you know, the lead stuff is good. Good song, right? Then we got all that, right? I got to work on that a lot. Oh. I need to look at what pentatonic scale it's in. That's what I need to do, so I'll remember it better. I didn't look. I just looked at the notes in it on the little riff last night. Actually, I'm going to go. I'm not awake enough to identify what scale it is. That's bad. That is bad. Now I actually want to know. It's a G. Using it in the minor scale. This is going to be an E minor. No, my parents are concerned trolls. It's the worst type of troll. Now, your parents are not trolls in that regard, dude. Yeah, I've seen the full gambit, man. I've seen the full gambit. But we have asked the important question. Instead of arguing about beef tallow versus seed oil, why don't y'all stop eating junk food? The question of questions. You know, because that's a topic that no one who actually cares at all about their health would even be debating. Right? Like, seriously. What's the healthiest garbage to fry your French fries in? Like, are we really having this conversation? No, really. Are we really having this when we as a society are having this conversation in a public platform? In an educated world where, let's be clear, the entire human race has access to all of the scientific data around the world. If you own one of these, you have access to the entire sum of human knowledge and scientific knowledge and meta-analysis through your phone. Through the internet, you have access to everything. Peppermint, look, there he is. All right. So another one, 5K runs. So you have access to all this. Yet we as a society are standing up here, literally having a conversation about seed oil versus beef tallow and frying our foods. right? Look at the date on it. Go check it out, Peppermint. Look at the date. Wow, 5K run. So you just made a new account just now, 5 minutes ago, just to ask me about this. Now I'm going to take it at face value because we already know we're going to ban you. But yeah, I watch you a lot. Now, that being said, lifting weights will improve your run times, right? I have this with clients. I have a client who his run times improved just 5K times, who runs all the time. So there you go. Just lift, no problem. It will improve your run times. One and done. This might be a super chat free type of morning. Oh well, it happens. Because I will have to shut this down when I have something here happen in a bit this morning. We're not going to say what. That way people can't plan. So watch for an alert on my phone. No, you won't get. You get bulky by eating food. You don't get lifting weights doesn't make you bulky. You can't gain weight just because you lifted weights. Home skillet. And why would you care about gaining some leg muscle? Some leg muscle will make you run faster, man. Come on now. Oh, hey, Peppermint, by the way. Yeah. So Peppermint, remember the what's his name with the bulking thing over and over? The follow J guy who wanted me to see update pictures of him, who kept jumping in the stream yesterday, was that same guy. Yeah, so that was him. So he sent all these pictures that he wanted me to review with his bulk. He sent me one of that picture of that same guy before. That was the same guy. I just left him alone. I just let him in there. I just ignored him. And so I just let him ask his question over and over. He asked it about every 10 minutes. That was him. The guy who we banned 150 times. The same guy with the bulking obsession. No, that was him. He predates the Kapows, right? Yeah, that was a bad period. You did miss some Kapows. Yeah, same guy, though. We just got rid of him multiple times. Yeah, same guy every day, more than once a day. So he's back. That guy who I banned over 150 times is back. Then he's trying to send Facebook stuff and acts like I don't know who he is. Like I don't remember the same hairy body, skinny fat dude. I was very polite, but I just started ignoring him because he's not malicious. He's just obsessed. Although he could be multiple people. Well, the guy made over 150 new channels just to keep dropping the same questions over and over. But then he got angry at me eventually and started talking about my teeth. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, the dude with the bulking obsession, making accounts from his mom's basement. He used to try and command you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's definitely a weirdo. certain vibe you get. How many people are going to need sheets today? Ted's good. Sorry, guys, I'm looking over my client work. Give me a minute. So we're going to see how many clients I need to update today. What do I have to get done? A couple of them are behind, so it's going to be an easier day. A lot of times I run a lot of workouts on the weekends. So far, okay, this is easy mode. Wow. Okay. I only have 4 clients who need workouts today on a Saturday. I only have 4 people who need me to update their workouts today on a Saturday. What? People are behind. I train. Yeah. If it's a weekday, I train. I would have thought YouTube would flag devices that make multiple accounts. You would think. Is Ted going down? But what if they use proxies? Ted's doing both, Peppermint. Ted is a member of Powerlifting Fed too. So we're going to be doing both. We will be competing in both types of events this coming year. So Ted is a hybrid athlete. Clandy says, "Oh, FUS. Oh, FUS. What's going on?" Do you train? Depends on what day of the week. This last year I didn't. So I didn't have time to train this last Christmas, so I had to be up early. So last Christmas, without going too much into my personal life, I had to take a date to the family Christmas because I switched dates. Then I had to have a fill-in because I told him I was bringing it. I mean, this is Jason. Like, I'm not showing up to Christmas without a girl. So I had to go pick my date up on Christmas morning. They make it to family Christmas. So it really kind of put a wrench because I had to drive over an hour to get there. So I had to go all the way down into Houston, pick up my date, and then drive way out to a small town for Christmas Day. So it really, for us to be there by 11 a.m., my day started pretty early. So I did not train on Christmas Day last year. So yeah. I know that's messed up. So one of those cases of, no, I don't plan on bulking soon at all, Clandy. No, not at all. Kisses for crop. Wow, what a weirdo. Okay, let's see. Surprise, surprise, whole new. So I suppose, what day does Christmas even fall on this year? Yeah, I mean, we train, guys. Our training days are our training days. Why does it matter if it's a holiday? So Christmas is on a Thursday this year. I will most likely be doing GPP. David has called for a kapow on Clandy. David has called for a kapow. Let's get the votes in. They just made this account a few minutes ago. All right. David has called for a kapow. David pays for these kapow abilities. David, if you would like to state your reasons, please feel free to do so. David kapow carry the vote. Nobody else. Thought we're Balkans. Clandy, you have been found guilty of being a spy and espionage by David, who has sourced you out with his spy hunter skills. Kapow! And he's out of here. Just get up with these people. Oh, Lord. Lord of mercy. Who knows? Chris falls on the 24th, not the 25th. So yeah, I didn't get the lift on Christmas this last year. So because I had a whole rechange and stuff. But that's funny though. Like that's the hilarious part of I guess me being Jason. It was a case of I had a whole date planned for Christmas, and then I'm having to chat with a friend of mine while we're chilling, and like, what are you doing on Christmas Day? She's like, I got no plans. Let me double check. And it's like, no, I don't want to go do anything. I'm pissed at my dad. So I'm like, yeah, it's common to bring days at Christmas. And I'm like, well, since, I'm finding myself single at this moment and my date for Christmas will not be coming. Do you want to go to Christmas? And she's like, do I get a gift? I'm like, yeah, you get a gift. She's like, cool, I'm down. Let's do it. It's like 2 weeks before Christmas or 10 days or whatever. Yeah. I double dip it on Christmas Day. Yeah. Of course you get a gift. She's like, I get a gift and free food. She's like, yeah, let's do it. She's like, you got to pick me up though. All right, cool. Done. Then I'm having to tell my family. So I switched dates for Christmas. I think my family secretly hates me. I'm just kidding. They don't. If you looked on Christmas Day, even formal exercise with a Santa hat. Oh man. I'm probably skipping Christmas because that normal family get together, it looks like it's canceled. I have other stuff interfering. So I may not be doing family Christmas this year. I may go do one with some of my homies though. But we won't do it on Christmas Day. We'll work it. It'll be like a weekend. So usually my bros, if we do a Christmas, it's like we do a weekend get together in December and call it Christmas. It's how it works. That's what we did this last year and the year before. Coach, stubble looking fire. Appreciate it, Flo V. Yeah, so we double dipped on Christmas. My family is used to that, though, to be fair. And they were used to my cousin's antics. So they're used to the ranger they're used to his antics too. And it's like they just know. They're just like all the men in this family are something else. So yeah, I went to that family. So I switched dates on them. Yeah, Lars, is it common to bring dates at Christmas? Really, it would be out of the question. You don't bring a date. No, dude. As a grown man, can I ask an odd question? There's your answer. All right. So Lars, there's a cultural difference. Bro, you're a grown man. You be showing up without a woman. Why are you single? Why you don't have a girlfriend? You got girlfriend? did you bring a date, man? Everybody else brought somebody. Literally, not one person showed up without a boyfriend or a girlfriend who was not married. What do you mean trusted spouse? A new person would be disrespectful? No, hell no, dude. So you don't know how to party. Right? You don't know how to party any other day, but no, this was Christmas, man. Like, two of my cousins brought a date that they were not married to. They brought boyfriends. I brought a girl. She was not my girlfriend. There were some awkward moments with the family. And it's like one of my cousins, like, don't, this is Jason, just stop. Oh my God. It was a friend, she's known me like 20 years, right? It was like, oh God, awkward moments with the family. You know, one of my aunt, like, don't be, well, Jason, I want you to behave yourself. My poor friend, she was like a deer caught in the headlights. It's like, I'm like, you know what? I'm known for always behaving myself. I behave myself. This is me, guys. Imagine me unfiltered with family. You know, I always behave myself. Now, I might be a lot of fun, but I behave myself, and I look at her and go, right, I'm known for being fun. And she just look on her face. Oh my God. She got put in the spotlight. Oh God, it's just like, yep, we're a lot of fun. And then she just like, and then the look on my aunt, everybody just, it was a pause for a minute. It's just funny. She got caught like a deer caught in the headlights of somebody who's known me 20 years. Like, yep, we're all a lot of fun. We're doing good, Richard, man. No, man, I'm not disrespectful to the family. You got to bring a date, Lars. Is Richard, man, new? Of course he's new. Let's see. Go to the channel. Joined today. You joined today. How can I get a big bench, guys? Well, Richard, what you got to do, you got to build them chesticles, right? Build them teddies, right? Oh, we seen him already. Richard, so what you got to do, man? You got to get you a barbell. You grip it like this, right? Break the bar, lower it. This is how you build a big chesticles. The big old D cups. I grip it way out here, though. I'm all the way out. Like this, right? David calling for the kapow. They get you big chesticles. You jacked and stack. David calling for a kapow. No, give him a minute, guys. Let him, marinate for just a little bit. We don't need to be so bloodthirsty. We don't need to behave like savages. We're civilized men. You want to get your physique. There should be a like dislikes for comments. That would be Lars. That would be something. No, man. No, Lars, it's common here to bring. In Texas, it's really common on both sides of my family being dates. My dad's family had massive parties when my grandma was alive. Like, dude, Christmas Day would be like 30, 40 people. There'd be people you never met all the time. Like, people just show up. When you have like 20 cousins and they're always dating somebody new, it's like they're strangers at Christmas at grandma's, out on the farm all the time. Like, who are all these people? You get there and there'd be 5 or 6 people you've never met in your life at Christmas Day, right? You have no idea who they are. You're having to like ask, who are you here with? So that was the Blaha family. Dude, it was normal for there to be several people you had never seen before in your life at Christmas. No clue who they are. You have to ask them, who are you? Who are you here with? What's your current program? I train full body 3 days a week. We do GPP on off days. My diet is very much a bro chicken and rice type diet, homie. Sometimes even married people here break up and spend Christmas separately. No, dude, the exes be showing up. Oh my God, no, dude. Some of my family exes be showing up at Christmas. When we had bigger get-togethers and all my families we don't do as big of a get-togethers anymore on any of them because they've all kind of fragmented with deaths. Dude, ex-husbands and ex-wives be showing up at Christmas. See me smiling, boy, that's some comedy right there. Like David said. Sounds like chaos, but you have some awesome Christmas get-togethers. Dude, I've had Christmas get-togethers where we be inviting exes. Well, we invite them like it's great. Like, should we invite uncles? It's like, we know they're divorced, but he's fun. All right. We straight up done it. Hell, we've invited them to get-togethers. Oh, wait a minute. What's my ETA here? 9 minutes. In less than 10 minutes, I'm going to have to step away from the screen for a bit. I might leave the live stream running, dude. I might leave it running. Richard Man says, dude, I've been in the adult industry a long time trying to transform my body for more views. Well, then you need to I got free programs. You in the right place, man. Right? We get jacked and stacked here. God, it's 1 month to the day. It's 1 month till my birthday. I turned 49 in a month. 49, guys. Get that gray in my beard. But I still got quads. That's the beauty of it, man. Right? We still got quads. Where's your arms look used from that angle? Side view? What, the side view? A little what? The hell are you on about, Richard? What is this nonsense? What do you think you are? All right, man. Here's the problem. Here's a problem we're about to have. That's only temporary peppermint. I'm going to have to be away for like 5 minutes in just a moment. Peppermint, you saw that, right? All right. In 5 minutes, I have to get up for like 5 minutes. Okay. I have left you in charge of the kids. But Peppermint, I need you to remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Okay. All right. This is a test run. I want to see what actually happens if I trust someone to be a live stream mod for a few minutes. I want to see how this works out. Just keep things running. Right. So I have a delivery coming and I got to bring it all in. So I've got some watermelons and stuff. So I'm going to have to go sort that out. I don't want to kill the live stream while we're having fun. All right. Now David will be initiating. You guys will have to do Kapow votes on your own while I'm gone. Okay. So again, I'll turn it back off afterwards, but we're going to give temporary moderator powers because otherwise I can't leave the stream running. And I want to leave this live stream going. So I'll be back. They're going to be here a couple minutes. Get everything put in and I'll come back. But I'm trusting you, Peppermint. You've been entrusted with great responsibility. Hold on, guys. Give me a minute here. There they go. All right, and we are back. What we got going on? Exactly. Oh, you can't perma-ban. That's okay. All right, we timed him out. All right, we're back. We are back, guys. Back in action here. All right, so we'll get rid of him. I can get rid of him though. Okay, I'm gonna remove the moderator powers. All right, you're now back to being a regular channel member. Everything good. So it looks like that was a success. Anything else eventful happened while I was gone, guys? So appreciate it. Peppermint got rid of the troll. All right. And then I'm able to sort them when I get back. This can clear the riffraff. We'll clear the riffraff out of here, which is the important part. That way I can run this just a little longer before we go do some GPP and some cooking. Oh, it was boring. So what else we have going on, guys? This has been a semi-decent live stream, though. It's been a little on the slow side. Not gonna lie, it has been a little bit. But if we can get some other topics, keep it flowing a little longer. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need to do a GPP day. I feel like that's what the channel and everything needs today. We need GPP pictures. I'm gonna have to cook a bunch of food though, guys. Like I'm gonna have to put when I go to do my GPP here in a bit. I think I need to put at least 7 or 8 pounds of potatoes and about 5 pounds of chicken in the oven. What do you guys think? That's what I think. That's what I think needs to happen. All right. So we got to have happen. In the meantime, everything's a little slow. Like I need the Facebook to pick up today. It's not horrible slow, but it slowed down a notch yesterday. I haven't had anything really hit. Nothing's hit super hard. Some of my statuses have started to do this. Once I had a picture go viral, though, my statuses pick up, which means people are seeing the statuses and engaging. So that's a good place. Like whenever I start getting text statuses on the Facebook page, start getting 200 replies, 300 likes, we're back flowing in a good direction. And some your post blow the F up on Facebook. Yeah. Yep. Well, that picture I did the other day got like 1,500 likes. So once that happens, we're in a good spot. Like if I had a picture get 1,000 likes again every day, plus my statuses, I would be in a really, really, really good spot. Like, super good. Another reason I got all that watermelon and potatoes. So I just had 4 watermelons and 25 pounds of potatoes delivered, plus some other odds and ends. I'm about to bake the hell out of some potatoes. All right. Yeah, they're priced super good. Like when potatoes are on sale like that, it's like, dude, you buy like 20, 30 pounds. Doesn't even matter. So if those prices, I don't even care if they go bad. Right. So they're running a sale on like my normal potatoes I like to bake. They're like $1.97 for 5 pounds. It's like, are y'all serious? That's 40 cents a pound. Let's just buy 30 pounds at a time. Doesn't even matter. Right? It's a lot of potatoes. Naive question can I ask what DoorDash is in the US. It's like, so DoorDash is a service that picks up from restaurants. So DoorDash does food delivery, right? They'll go to DoorDash will do so. All your local restaurants have DoorDash options. I don't care whether it's the Mexican restaurant down the street or the McDonald's. DoorDash will go get your food, and there's automated systems for it to where they will coordinate with DoorDash. So these things are all set up to do it. Like, so most of your local restaurants and stuff have a thing in place to where DoorDash has them to their list, and you can place all your orders, and they'll go pick up your food and bring it to your door. Yeah, I don't know what delivery is, but it sounds similar. However, I mean, you're going to end up spending a lot. So to put it in context, a meal that might have cost you, say, $30 to go eat is going to cost you 50 or 60 by the time DoorDash is done. You know, it adds up real fast, like super. It gets expensive really quick. But for people who have the resources who don't want to leave their house, Uber Eats is very similar. So, and I've had to have. So, okay, as a coach, see where I'm about to go. As a coach who has clients who struggle with diet adherence and with binging sometimes, who have money, they can afford this stuff. I mean, they pay for coaching. What do you think one of the first things that we have to do is? They have to delete those apps off their phone. It becomes a problem. Like, I can tell you straight up as a coach, when you have clients who have good incomes and they struggle with their binges and staying on their diet, Uber Eats and DoorDash have to be deleted off that phone. It's a problem. Dude, it is a big problem. You know? It isn't food you can order from the, yeah. Right, it isn't just food. You know? Well, alcohol is only recently here. Like that only due to COVID. The COVID caused the stuff to change here. It used to be alcohol was not deliverable in Texas for a long time. Believe it or not. You know. What happened to the views just ticked? Wait, oh, we only 8 viewers, man. People got to pick this up a notch. What are they doing? Why we only have 8 views in here, guys? So I'm going to post on a thingy. No, definitely those apps become a quick problem, a big problem for people with diet accountability issues. And then think about the money that they waste. Right? If everyone hit like, if you haven't, tell them, Peppermint, tell them we got to get them likes up. But we had a sample run of making a moderator temporarily. But that's the thing I've realized. I can give people moderation without full access. That's the beauty of it. Right? That's the beauty of it. You know, because it gave me the option of what tier of moderator to give you. So that was interesting. So we've got tools in this toolbox in here. All right. So I gave you a standard, like there's ones who can give you access to big stuff. And it's like, no, we're not doing that. Yeah. Jason, is it true there are some exercises that absolutely require a slightly higher rep range to maximize growth, like calf raises, shrugs? Shrugs? No. No, dude, you can go heavy as hell on shrugs. Calf raises and laterals probably just purely due to practicality. It's just not practical to do them with really low reps. So yeah, Peppermint says, so even if it went off the reservation, the damage would have been limited. Exactly. Right. So most max you do is time out someone for a day. Right. Because what I can't have, like for example, giving someone mod and they start banning channel members and client, it's like, man, that's a problem. But I noticed it gave you that limited. It's like, okay. Plus I would be able to undo some of the damage if need be. So it was very limited. And that'd be a mess. But, you know, it is a way for me to let channel members who are trusted and been doing stuff a while, Hey, David, I did consider you. You are a little trigger happy though, but I did consider too. I'm like, let me see who I want to do. You were in the consideration for that, actually. Like, it was a tough call, but I feel like Peppermint's a little more even-handed. David have been going down. Right? But I did consider it, by the way. So Peppermint's the first person to have been trusted ever. Only one person so far has. I needed someone with a little bit very even temperament. But it's a good test round to look at some of the channel members and saying, if these streams get really big, Jason, I think you're genetically elite when it comes to squat strength, but I think it's the lift that you tend to be laziest with. 3 sets of knee bends a week is absurdly low. David, keep in mind, I took 18 months off from squatting on YouTube. I had 1.5 years on this channel where I did not do a single squat. Let's put that into context with that statement. And then came back and was squatting back up into the 500s within a relatively short time period. I don't like squatting. That's why I'm lazy. I'm lazy AF with squats. I don't like them. I'm very aware of the highest strength ceiling, and I know that. Oh, I know it. I know it for a fact. What would happen if I came in every workout and did 2 or 3 sets with 405 on the back squat and just really pushed it? What do you think would happen? I already know what would happen. I just don't want to do it. I might one day. I might just say, you know what, let's just do this. Because I'm honestly not that much stronger on the squat than I was 2 years into lifting weights. I hit a 405 squat in less than 2 years in the gym. Just make a little go long way on squats. I mean, Joe isn't wrong though, to be fair. Like, Joe's totally not wrong. I am lazy on squats, and I know that I'm lazy on squats. If I were training purely for enjoyment, I'd never do another back squat the rest of my life. I squat because there's benefits. I already know what happens when I focus on squats. We saw what happened when I focused on squats, Peppermint. Remember the 605 camber bar? That's what happens when I focus on squats as a driving life goal. I was doing 6 to 8 sets of squats every week. All right. Yep. I mean, part of me thought about doing some of that too, to where I come in and go, what if I just really just push squat, bench, and chins and just chill a little with the deadlifting, just kind of do it casually. So I do multiple sets of heavy squats and bench every workout. What if I just did put 305 on the bar and 3 work sets every time? Even if it hits triples, it would probably go up pretty quick. I thought about doing that, honestly. Because you can do them often. I mean, I've squatted every day for a while. I remember I did Bulgarian too. That's the thing, they're not enjoyable. That's the downside to squats. When dudes talk about they enjoy squats, I already know they're not strong. Yeah. Deadlifts are fun, but we just can't handle them. Yeah, straight up. We can't handle the workload. You know? But yeah, the squats, man. No, but I mean, I've considered that. What would happen if I come in and I really just push like 3 sets, squats and bench every workout, and just make that my workout and just do some chins? And I could throw some laterals or whatever in it. Only deadlift once a week. I like deadlifting frequently, but I probably don't benefit from it, to be fair. And I know that. So even my training now is still geared towards what I like rather than what's optimal. Because let's be realistic. Am I really benefiting from deadlifting 3 days a week from a programming perspective? I mean, really? No. But I love deadlifts. I did 3 sets of squats every workout, 3 sets of bench every workout. So the issue I do run into with the bench, I'd have to go heavier to do the 3 sets. I can't do that. That 225 AMRAP takes everything out of me. Right? It takes everything out of me. But with the benching, to be fair, what if I stop doing the AMRAP at 315 and left 1 rep in reserve? So what about squats and bench? What if I came and left a rep in reserve every time and did 3 sets? I could do a 3x3 with that bench. It's that fourth rep that takes a lot out. It's that last rep, because I don't have a fifth rep. That's a 0 in reserve. Well, not necessarily heavy bench triples, but what if I just came in and just did a 3x3 and then just built it from there? Probably do pretty well. Veins looking sickening, coach. Appreciate it, Max. Thank you, Max. You know, I mean, I could. Volumes are low enough. My deadlift would go up anyways, you know. Like I've never had to do a lot of deadlifting to have a big deadlift. My other list will feed my deadlift, quite frankly. All my squats and back work build my deadlift. I throw a little bit of posterior chain and it'll go up. Would your deadlift go up as much if you reduced it to strength? I could deadlift once a week. How often did I deadlift when you've seen me pull 600 plus? Not really that much. But I'm doing all that other work, right? I really like deadlifting. That's the thing. That I like the other stuff. I like deadlifting. Not gonna not, but realistically, if I just pulled on Mondays, just left it there, it'd probably be optimal. But I mean, Joe is definitely right. I sandbag on the squat a lot. I've been pushing bench and deadlifts a lot more. In terms of my work capacity. All right, guys, I think it's about time to start winding this down. Mainly because I got to get some other stuff done. But see how the veins look out sun up. I'm all fasted still. I wonder how the veins will look on a Mount Vesuvius. Let's do one. Oh, Mount Vesuvius. See, we're not all veiny like the afternoons, all right? But I'm going to wind it down. So I love you guys. And we're out of here.